Hi, my name is Bree. I'm known as the Bookish Bree on Instagram and Twitter, and Jasper and Spice on Goodreads, and that's the name of my blog, which will be linked down below. I feel like I always take this deep breath for my videos and just like, whew, that was really rushed intro. Always rushed because I'm really excited to get into the video. Basically, today I'm gonna be talking about all the books I read in 2018, because there were only about like nearly 30 of them. I didn't really reach my reading goal of 50, but I did read probably 25 books from like my rough counting of all of these, and I'm really happy with the books I read. I want to go through them all and tell you what I read and tell you what I liked, what I didn't like, and just, yeah. So let's get into this. I read some pretty good books in 2018, and I'm hoping 2019 is an even better reading year. So let's start with the first one, and I really hope this doesn't fall. The first book I read in 2018 was sent to me by Melanie Schubert, the author of Gregory and the Greenbuckle. It's a children's novel. I'm always down for a children's novel, and it's illustrated. Like, just some of the cute illustrations, and yes, I used a Disney Cinderella, oh, the yellow works. I used a Disney Cinderella snap card to mark my page. I'm putting that back where I found it. This book actually comes with a playlist that they curated especially for reading this, which was amazing to listen to, so that was really cool. The soundtrack is by Jared Craft and the illustrations are by Abigail Craft. So this was actually a really fun read. I got through this really quickly, obviously, and it was really cute. Gave it 5 stars. I haven't really rated children's books before, but it came on par with Judy Moody, and that's all I care about. And Geronimo Stilton, of course. I'm not always on Goodreads, but on my notes I do keep track of all the books I read, when I start and when I finish them. So, Gregory and the Greenbuckle, ooh, I just realised that wasn't my first read, that was my second read of the year. My first read of the year was Storm and Grace. I actually remember reading this, but it felt like such a lifetime ago when I read this one. It was interesting. It took me such a long time to read, probably because it was so heavy, because it's more of a, how do you explain it? It's a contemporary novel, but it's very contemporary. It's very far away from the fantasy and the lovey-dovey contemporary that I read. It's more drama. Very, very dramatic, and there was just a lot to grasp while reading this book, and I really liked it in the end. I actually liked the storyline, and I liked everything that was going on. It was really interesting, and I didn't think I would like it, considering just the way it was going, but just the twists and turns in this book was really interesting. So if you're ever thinking of it, just pick up Storm and Grace if you want a different kind of read, because you won't regret it. The third book I read in 2018 was Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. This is probably going to be his best novel that he's written. It was very simple, very easy to read, and really highlighted the way people with OCD live on a daily basis. It wasn't anything special, it was just a standard contemporary novel, but the heaviness of this book was really, I don't know how to explain it. It was something that just caught me off guard, and I really felt like I was in the character's shoes while reading this, which was very interesting. So he did a really good job, and I think I've rated this one 5 stars or something close to 5 stars. So I do have a review of this book on my blog if you'd like to check that out. My blog will be linked down below, so you can check out any reviews I've done. Just chuck the name of the book into the search bar or the author and you'll be able to find it. I won't be linking them all because I think I did review all of these books that are in the list, so yeah. 5th book was The Wren Hunt. I have the arc of this book. It was sent to me by Bloomsbury. I was very grateful to read the arc, and I did pick up the final copy, which is very pretty. It's black and gold, which is a real stark contrast to the arc, which is like all gold with black lettering. I really love this book. I found it very confusing to read at the start, but once I got into it, I actually really understood the story, and it was very interesting, but I did have to like kind of bring myself to reading it, like force myself into reading it a little bit towards the start because I really wanted to know the storyline and it was confusing, but maybe that was just me. So I am keen if there's anything else from this author or from this series to read more of her work and just see how it goes. The 6th book of the month. It was a book called Face. It's a middle grade novel written by, I'm pretty sure it's set in the UK. That's the vibe I got from it. They didn't explicitly say where they were set, but I got a vibe that was set in the UK. The book cover's here. For some reason I can't find the book on my shelves. I have looked everywhere. I did a man look, but I also did like a normal look. And for some reason I can't find it. So I've either donated it or it's somewhere up there and I don't know where it is. Ooh, what is that? The 7th book is Rain the Earth. Rain the Earth is the first book in the Elemente series. I am currently reading Imprison the Sky. I'll insert a photo here because I'm literally too lazy to get up and get the book that is right over there on my bed. Rain the Earth was a fun read. I actually had mixed reviews from my friend who said she didn't like it. I quite liked it. I quite liked the two sides clashing. I'm not going to spoil it. There were two sides, they clash. One girl marries so that they don't clash and then they end up clashing. It's really interesting. I'm underselling it. Read it. I love it. It's about elementals, people controlling the earth, the water, people hating elementals, people enslaving them. There's a lot. There's a king, there's a queen, there's an empire. And yeah, read it, it's amazing. There's desert people. And I think that is amazing. When I saw this cover, I was like, finally some representation in the covers. Not like white faces just on the covers of all books. It does get boring. So, Rain the Earth, I think I gave that either 4 out of 5 stars or 5 out of 5 stars. I'm not really just gonna, this isn't for the ratings, this is just more saying what books I read and how I like them. I read Warcross. My boyfriend bought me this for Christmas 2017 and I finally got around to it in, when did I get around to it? February, March of 2018. So look, it took a few months, but I decided to read it. I had problems with it, which I see why a lot of people liked it. It was an easy read, I flew through it, but it would have had so much potential if Amika and whatever his name is to something, it starts with T. What's his name? What is his name? Mr. Tanaka. If they hadn't, if there wasn't just some love story between them and it was like, maybe the sequel's gonna be better, but just the love story between them just ruined it. It was like, ugh, so predictable, like that could have happened. But if that didn't happen, I would have been like, I don't know, I didn't like it. I liked it, but I didn't. I liked I think I liked all the gaming elements of it, but the love part just ruined it. That probably made no sense. Yeah, look, I've just kind of like messed up my whole thing. Let's backtrack. The 1st of January, I read Storm and Grace. The 2nd of January, I read Gregory and the Grimbuckle. 3rd of January, I read Turtles All the Way Down. 4th of January, I read The Wren Hunt. The 5th, I read Warcross. And then I read Face. And then I read Rain the Earth. And then I read a book called Control Freaks. I hope that clears it up, because I put Warcross in the wrong date, but that's okay. I can't read. The next book I read was called Starry Eyes, and I left it on my shelf because I didn't see it on my list. One sec. This one I actually got up for because this one I loved. Starry Eyes was a book I was sent as part of a blog tour, and oh my god, I am so grateful to have received this book because I've never read anything by Jen Bennett and I'd never thought to pick up anything by Jen Bennett. Never heard of her before. Oh my god. Okay, this was amazing. I gave this a 5 out of 5 Starry Eyes. See what I did there? It's by, I was sent it by Simon & Schuster. You can read the review I put up on my blog as part of the blog tour. This is the fluffiest and most amazing contemporary I've ever read. There was so much to it. I didn't care if it was like bad boy and good girl. I didn't care if there was like drama and my dad slept with this mom and everyone hates her, and like bitchy girl and everyone hates me. But there was just so much fluff, and it was cute, and it was so like positive in all aspects. It was really cute. I just liked how they came to a really positive ending in the end. It was a story that basically had a lot of lumps and bumps, but for the main character, it worked out for her. She ended up getting out of a situation that was hard. She ended up, her happiness, the grandma only showed up for probably like a few pages. Like she probably had like 3 lines, and I love her. She was my favorite character out of the whole book. That grandma was just like, I don't even think she even, did she even speak? I don't even know, but like, sassy grandma is my new role model. Seriously, I can't do this justice in the way I talk about it. So if you ever get the chance, pick up Starry Eyes. I'm looking to pick up some more of Jen Bennett's books in the future, but if you can, pick up Starry Eyes. It is amazing. You will not regret reading it, especially if you want a fluffy contemporary that's just... Thank you, Simon & Schuster. The next book I read was another cute contemporary. I was born for this. The little sticker means it was the book of the month for the YA Room, which is the Melbourne Book Club that Sarah runs from the YA Room on YouTube, on anything social media, so look her up. This was their book of the month. She was the reason I picked this book up, and I did not regret it. I actually picked this, when I bought this book, I bought all of Alice Oseman's books. She has 3 out, plus a graphic novel Heartstopper, which I am looking to get once it finally gets published online. I think I might actually pre-order it on Book Depository. I need to get around to that. But it is amazing, this novel. And I'm sure all her novels are perfect. She's writing a 4th book as well, which I am looking forward to. This gave me all the nostalgic vibes, honestly. It's co-perspective, written in 2 perspectives, so it's written from a fan. You will understand that once I say the second perspective is, which is a band member. And a band member, it was a boy band, 3-boy boy band. Who's getting One Direction feels right now? I had all the One Direction vibes. I was like brought back to my year 7-8 self, where I was just jamming out to 1D and being the ultimate fangirl, not the crazy fangirl like all my friends were, but the ultimate like, oh my god, I love 1D, I want to meet them one day, oh my god, Zayn, Niall, Louis, oh my god, I'm forgetting their names, Liam, Harry, yay! This girl wasn't a crazy fan, but there are some things that this book really alerted you to, which is when you're so engrossed in a band, you forget about other things. It had a lot of strong messages. And it's just a really cute LGBT novel with a lot of representation that I will not do justice, so please read it. Please, 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 please. I cried, okay? So there's 5 stars, and then there's 5 stars, I cried. So that is like, if I cry in a novel, that is amazing. So please pick it up. Please read I Was Born for This. The next book I read was called All of This Is True. Double checking my phone to make sure I'm picking up the right book. It's called All of This Is True. This is the art copy of the novel. It's got words on the side, really fun. This book, this one effed me up. Honestly, it's about 3 girls who meet their favourite author and then become entangled into her own story. So she can't write a book. She needs to write a book, but she can't write it with her own imagination, so she uses someone else's lives to write a book, but then fucks up the ending of their lives. So they are really mad, and this whole book is basically about the book that the author wrote about them, and they're all replying to it because it screwed up their friendship. So it's mixed media, so you'll see excerpts from the book that the author wrote about them, called The Absolution of Brady Stevenson. You'll also see recording, what's it called? Transcripts? Recording transcripts. And text messages, you'll see emails, journal entries, everything is in this book, and it was really, really interesting to read. It made it so much more engaging. I feel like the story alone wouldn't have been complete without the mixed formats of writing. So this one was really awesome. I gave it a 5 stars. I'd never heard of Leggia de Penaflor before. Thank you so much to Bloomsbury who sent this to me, because this is probably one of my top reads of 2018. The next book I read was The Upside of Unrequited. I had this book in my car for about a year and I never read it. Never finished it until June. So I read Upside of Unrequited. I know a lot of people didn't like this book. I found it a bit funny to read. I actually didn't mind it. I think a lot of Becky Albertalli's books, I think they're all linked. I've only read this one from her. So I had watched Love, Simon before I read this, so I made a connection between one of the characters, but that's all I could connect between her books, and it seems like a lot of them are interwoven. This one was probably about a 3-star for me. I didn't quite like it, but I found it intriguing and okay to read. It just seemed like a really cheesy contemporary, which is not something I'm into. I'm into more fluffy and character heavy contemporaries. This one just seemed like all the characters were kind of really bland. So that's going in the pile with a short review. But then the next book was a one that I really liked. It's shiny too. It's Subsidio! Oh my god, I'm just feeling this again. It's so chunky, I love this book. I loved all the books in the Illuminated Chronicles. I'm so glad they got Marie Lu to do all the illustrations. They're beautiful. Just this series is amazing. Amy Kaufman, Jay Kristoff just came up with the most craziest theme of a book, ran with it, and it worked. And I don't know how they did it, but they did. I loved it. The ending, oh my god, the twist at the end killed me. I nearly cried when I thought someone died. I'm not going to spoil it, but there obviously is death in this novel. There's death in all the novels. There's a lot of trickery, but the ending was amazing, and the art is beautiful, and I just cannot rate this book highly enough. It nearly made me cry, so I think that is a 5-star plus a half cry. So yeah, this is a more of a 10 out of 5-star book. Okay, this is an infinity to the stars out of stars book. I can't even, yeah. The next book. I picked up Monster Calls. I had seen this book years ago in a bookstore. It was just sticking out amongst all the other books, and I was like, hey look, this looks cool. I never picked it up. But I finally picked it up when it was on sale actually at QBD. I finally picked it up and I was like, okay, might as well read it. There's so much hype around it. Everyone's loving it. It was very traumatic for someone that young as a protagonist to be going through all the stuff that he's going through. Also, when he decided to trash his grandma's living room, was a little bit of a what the hell is going on moment for me. I felt that as a personal attack. I saw the living room personally and I was like, your grandma's gonna actually murder you. But it was a good read. The next book. I picked this one up because I tapped it on my TBR and I was like, yeah, you have to read it now. I've had this for a few years, decided to read it. It was also traumatic, but it was about World War II, so it deserved to be traumatic. I've read a lot of books set in World War II, such as Morris Gleitzman's Now Then After series. This one is not for children. Let me warn you, this is not for children. I picked it up only because it had, when I picked it up at Kmart and I was like, oh, it's cool, it has short chapters about World War II. I read part of this on audiobook and part of this physical book. Let me tell you, don't read this on audiobook, especially when you're on the train, especially when you get towards the end, because there's something happens and it shocks you because this book is brutal and it talks about the raw raw everything that happened during World War II. So I recommend reading this physical copy and actually being ready to hear about the gruesome reality of what the soldiers did to victims in World War II, but also what good things can come out of it, because there was a nice, I wouldn't say a happy ending, but it was a nice ending that actually kind of summed up, tied up everything in this book, and it made it a little less disastrous. So yeah. The next book I read was City of Saints and Thieves. This is by Natalie C. Anderson. I was given this at a Bloomsbury Bloggers event as part of a little goodie bag. I quite like this novel. I don't want to butcher this, so I might just read you the blurb. The only blurb you'll be hearing today is this one. In the shadows of Sangui City, a street thief called Tina patiently plots her revenge. Her mother has been shot dead at the home of one of Kenya's richest businessmen, and Tina is sure she knows who to blame. When a local gang asks her to steal from a businessman's home, it's the chance Tina's been waiting for. But as she steps inside, old wounds from the life she was forced to flee resurface, and she is caught red-handed by his son, Michael. The pair set in motion a cascade of dangerous events that at any moment could cost Tina her life. The desire to finally uncover the truth about who killed her mother and why keeps her holding on to this nail-biting thriller. It was a thriller. I was holding on. I was reading this every second I could, because every page uncovers something new. You don't, all those things that you heard about, her breaking into someone's home, whose home it is, who Michael is, just everything, like as soon as you turn the page, another thing comes up and you're like, oh my god, this answers the first question. Oh my god, this answers another question. This opens like a lot more questions. And in the end, it's a happy ending. There's some death, but it's happy. She gets what she wants, so it's happy. And there are a lot of truths uncovered that she doesn't even know, a lot of assumptions she makes that are actually uncovered as to be false. But that's just the course of life, and that's what happens when you're a child whose mother was shot dead. Anyway. Hey, it's unearthed. It is unearthed. I also have the price tag on here. I think I just got lazy towards the end of the year and started not taking off my price tags. But this one still has a price sticker. This one, and I think this is the only book so far besides Subsidiary that's been signed by Amy Kaufman. And I also have Megan Spooner's signature in here. I met them at Dimmicks in the City. It was brilliant. There is a blog post about that. There's also a blog post about my meeting Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff for the Obsidiary launch, but there's so many. If you literally search Jay Kristoff in my search, because I put it in my tags, you'll find all the book launches for the Gemina, Nevernight, God's Grave, Obsidiary, and if you put in Amy Kaufman's name, you'll find Unearthed launch, or if you just type in Unearthed. I love the search bar on my blog because I search for a lot of things myself to figure out if I'm actually going to post on it. Yeah, I'm lazy and forgetful. Through me. I don't know what to think about Unearthed. Unearthed was interesting. It was very much like how they sold it. So it was very Indiana Jonesy. I love that. But the love story wasn't too overpowering, which was really good. And the enemies just kind of seemed meh. So the people they encountered along the way were just like defeatable. But I think that was the point because they had to get to the end. But the final alien cliffhanger was awesome. So I know that Undying is out already, so I want to get to that. But the final cliffhanger was so worth reading through the whole book. It was an easy read. It was chill. I liked it. I found some of it kind of like bland, but the ending, oh my god. When the ending of a book captivates me, I'm just like, how? How is the ending so captivating when like the whole book was kind of like, eh, and then the ending is like, whoa! And I just want to read the next book so badly. Like, that's how they get you. So that was Unearthed. A Court of Wings and Ruin. It was really good. I actually liked it. I don't really remember much of the storyline because when you read series that are so, like, that just really flow on from each other, everything just seems like into one book. So this I couldn't exactly tell you what exactly happened, although I can tell you the ending, and it was interesting. It was really, really, really fun to read. I liked all the twists and turns. I still hated Tamlin, but you know, that's usual. I think I rated it like 4 out of 5 stars because it wasn't a 5-star book, but it was really good. It wasn't anything close to Akamath, but it was good. And then of course I read A Court of Frost and Starlight straight after. This little one was a good read. It was fun. It was fun. It was good. Very chill. Very day in the life of the Illyrians style, and kind of just like closed everything out, which was really nice. I quite liked it. Yeah, you did good. The next book on the list is I Had Such Friends. I always take a deep breath when I talk about this because, yeah, there's just something about this book. So this book is set in an Australian town. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in New South Wales. They didn't exactly say. It's a country town, and because it's such a small town, the attitude towards gay people is very negative. So this book dealt with gay teenagers in a public school, and they're trying to cover up the fact that they're gay. I don't know why I'm taking so many breaths. I think it's just I never know how to explain this book, do it justice. It was such an amazing read. I was sent this by Pantera Press, and I am so happy that I received this because I would never have picked this up. The cover is really intriguing, but the cover doesn't do this justice. There's obviously a reason they've done the cover like this, and you will understand if you read the book, but there are so many trigger warnings in this novel. So yeah, for anyone who's sensitive, I would recommend not reading this book, but if you're okay with themes of suicide and bullying, then it's a good read. It's a very, very interesting read, and it's something that I feel like people should probably pick up. But I will say yes, there is a trigger warning in this novel. I don't know if there is one written at the start, but I feel like there should be one because of the themes in this novel. But that book, it made me cry. I did give it a 5 stars. I never wrote a review on it because of the emotions it dealt, because of just the heaps of emotions I had while reading it, and I didn't know how to express them, and I also didn't know how to talk about the book or do it any justice in a review. So on that note, I also picked up Magnus Chase and The Ship of the Dead as part of my 2018 reading. I loved it. It was such an amazing close out of the series. The ending was perfect. It closed everything out. And Alex, oh my god, that scene, they're just so cute. And I actually can't deal. Loki has been defeated. He ends up in a nutshell. It was great. Everything came together. Norse mythology. I'm just spewing words here. I had so much fun reading this. I give this whole series like a massive 10 out of 10 anythings. Yeah, read it. It's amazing. The ending is so cute. The series has so much representation in it, so much fun, and just, yeah. I love this book. I actually did. And I also found a little novella for like a quarter of the price that it was being sold at. It was at like $4. I kept the sticker on there because I was really proud that I found it for $4, and I'm like, oh my god, I didn't actually waste $18 on a book this small. It's called Hotel Valhalla, A Guide to the Norse World. It's just a companion novel, kind of like Shadowhunter Codex is a companion to the Shadowhunter series. This book was very informative, a little who's who of the Norse worlds, Norse gods worlds, same thing. and little anecdotes, stories, just some fun things to add to the series. And then it was like, we start picking up. We start getting into more contemporary, to more fantasy, high fantasy, sci-fi novels with lifelike. But this book gave me an existential crisis and I don't know what to do with my life, and I think I'm just glad I'm not an android with memories implanted into me. That is what this book is about. This was a freaking wild ride. Like, a wild ride. Like, give me the sequel now when I finish it, wild ride, because this like threw me off a cliff and then hauled me back up, and then it threw me off the cliff, and then the ending just decided to bury me in a hole and leave me there while I just withered away and got very like existential crisis-ish and begged for the sequel, even though it hasn't even been written yet. Or maybe it has. I really hope it has. J. Kristoff, please have the sequel written so I can read it. Lifelike. And then we get to some books that I DNF'd. Okay, no. I didn't DNF this book. I don't DNF J. Kristoff. I just haven't dedicated any time to finishing it. Because Nevernight, as if you've read my blog post about it, took me a year to read. Yeah, I left it for a year because I had no time to dedicate towards reading it because it's very, very heavy in like every aspect. So I never had any time to dedicate to it, so I just like left it, and then I picked up where I left it, because it's one of those books you can remember everything that happened because you took so much time to actually read the words and put the world into your mind. You read the words again, you're like, ah, I remember all that. Yeah, it's in there, it's connected to something. You know, it's off in that little corner of J. Kristoff books that are really content heavy that I had to remember because I had to put them down sometime. And then not pick them up for another week because reading 1 or 2 pages just isn't enough. That's God's grave. And where am I? I'm actually a fair chunk of the way in. I am on page 148. That is not a fair chunk of the way, but you know, it's me. We're in November of 2018. I decided to challenge myself by reading the Percy Jackson series that I've never read before. Because my first Rick Riordan encounter was the Norse mythology series, and I loved it, as you can tell. So, first I picked up, obviously, The Lightning Thief. It was different from the movie, but hard to dissociate from the movie. Once you have the image in your mind, it's hard to get out. Sea of Monsters. Vaguely seen parts of the movie. I don't think I watched it all, so it was okay to read. And it was really interesting. The god Pan was pretty cool. Pretty cool god. I think because I'd never heard of it, so a lot of new things were really intriguing to me. The Titan's Curse. I quite like this one. I don't know what it is about third books in series, but I quite like this one. I think the Black Pegasus, whose name I have forgotten, was probably one of my favourite characters. Other than that, it was a good book. Then we have the Battle of the Labyrinth. No, this was my favourite book out of all of them. So, the Battle of the Labyrinth included, obviously, the labyrinth that was created by, what's his name? Daedalus. It had the labyrinth created by Daedalus, and he was a bit of a sneaky bugger. They also, on their journey through the labyrinth, they met some other really cool Greek gods. So that was also really interesting to see. It wasn't just one Greek story, it was multiple Greek stories inside of one, which was fun. It was actually quite good that he could sneak in all those little characters and create one big scene out of it. I actually didn't buy the Percy Jackson series, haven't read the 5th book yet, but I'm gonna get around to it. And then I started Otherworld. Otherworld is a book by Jason Segel and Kristen Miller. It is on my January TBR for this year, once I finish Imprisoned in the Sky, which will probably be a quicker read because I am flying through that book. This one I started when I went to India, got only a few pages in, and then fell asleep because I was tired, not because this book is boring. This book is one that seems like it will fly through, so it's written very simply as far as I can tell, but we'll see. I'll try and post a review maybe on this channel, but see how I go. Dirtful, okay. And then we have the beautiful Fierce Fragile Hearts. I'm talking about this in this video because I started it in 2018, but I did finish it in early January, which was a good idea. I personally love this book, thought it was beautiful. It is a 5-star plus I cried. You will see a review for this up on January 12th on my blog, and maybe I'll put something up on this channel, but this one is beautiful. I didn't actually understand it at the start in a few parts because obviously I hadn't read Beautiful Broken Things, I think is the first book to this. This sequel can be read alone as a standalone, which is what I've done, and I may pick up the first book to understand her backstory. But this was beautiful, I loved it. The story was so sweet, but it was also very problematic, and I kind of understood a lot of what she was going through in terms of how she talked to herself in such a brutal way. But there are obviously aspects of her life that some readers may not understand, but some readers also may find triggering, but her recovery is a beautiful story, and I think you should probably read it. That is my stack of books I read in 2018. My favourites were the contemporaries. As you could tell how I was being all gushy, the ones I cried in were probably the most beautiful books I did read. So my favourite contemporaries probably had to be I Was Born for This, I Had Such Friends, and Fierce Fragile Hearts, though I read that I finished that this year, so it can't really be my favourite. Those were probably two of my favourite contemporaries, and then two of my favourite sci-fi fantasies would have been Magnus Chase, The Ship of the Dead, and Obsidio, but I loved all of them in their own special way. There were aspects of some that I liked, some that I didn't like, but altogether they were such beautiful reads, and I wouldn't have wanted to read anything else in 2018. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me what books you read in 2018 and what were your favourites down in the comments below. But also you can help my social medias on my blog and just leave me a comment or a like on there. Also don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a happy day, week, month, year, weekend, whatever you are doing. I hope that you do it with a smile on your face. Love you. See you next time.